Okay, so Kelly, I have you on board.
Okay.
At least with voice, okay?
Can you still hear me now?
I can, yeah, I can hear you really, really
okay.
well.
So I just hung my phone up.
So you are a black square, sort of like that.
And she's not showing up on the stream, actually. It's just you on the screen, not a black.
Okay, so we're just gonna get to this.
Just run.
Okay.
Run, Forrest, run.
So for anybody who doesn't know me, I've got short, dark hair with some nice white stripes in it that are natural. I've got brown eyes, and I've spent a lot of time in the sun. So there's my visual for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So I have known about Kelly, and I think Kelly, we met maybe 3 decades
we did.
ago. And then your name came up recently, and you attended my daughter's Medicine Women's Retreat here in Vermont. And Corey had said you almost couldn't make it because you were experiencing so much pain. And when I saw you get out of the car, I knew it was you because I knew that, first of all, you were the only one there from Florida, and you were like dark, dark tan with a sun hat on. And I knew that it was you. So when you came to the registration table, what did I asked you if you were in pain. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And I remember I had several of these strips ready to go for people who, were anxious or in pain or discomfort. And I had a pair of scissors. When you have this product, you always have a pair of scissors handy. And I remember.
Oh, that's smart.
Cutting a whole stack in half.
Yes.
And I kept asking you, where do you want it? And I don't know how many I put on you, but maybe you can tell your experience because you had never heard of this, but you were open. And then how this all ties into us just being fascinated on how you're expressing what's happening to you as your body is releasing.
Okay.
How does that?
Okay, I would really be glad to do that. For anybody who doesn't know my backstory, I was forced to give up my career that I spent 23 years developing because of the pain in my spine. I have herniated discs in all 3 regions of my spine, along with fibromyalgia, which people are familiar with that. That is never ending, maddening nerve pain. And so anyways, I was like my 3rd year into not working, and it was really very sad and depressing. You lose your identity. And so the medicine retreat did come up as something for me to do. And I almost did say no, because at that point in my life, I was standing maybe for 10 minutes, and then I had to lay down for 10 minutes. And when I say lay down, I'm talking the fetal position so that I could open my spine. And I was also very embarrassed about this because I'm thinking, what kind of furniture is there going to be, for me to sit on? Am I going to have to go back to the car and lay down? How am I going to tolerate this? And, when you think like that, you even generate more of your own fear and anxiety, which then contributes to like an even bigger lockup in your muscles, and then your nerves are like, oh, I see we're irritated, and they start to scream. So anyways, I did drive in, and you did come up to me and you said, my daughter told me to strip you up. And I was like, okay. And I remember pulling my shirt up, and I was like, I'll take one on the right hip. I'll take one on the left hip. Let's go and do 3 across where my bra strap would go. We put one on my wrist. We put one on my knee because I had a torn meniscus. And I'd never heard of these before, but I trusted you and your daughter. And I knew that I was also at a very cool mystical energy-based event. So what I have to say is that when they got applied, I swear in just a few moments, I felt like this vibrational exchange. I really didn't know what to expect. And I didn't want to say anything because I thought, oh God, Kelly, that's you, creating this. But as the weekend went on and we started walking around the terrain, what I do want to say is that terrain was designed for goats. And had I never had these patches on, I probably would have asked somebody to bring me to the hospital for some injections. When I came back to Vermont, my massage therapist, who I've been seeing for 2 years now, said he totally expected me to be crippled when I came back. So that was my experience. I didn't understand it. I wasn't really sure what was happening. And then I ordered the product, and I started really using it on the muscles in my upper back. Do you want me to keep going?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. really
So
valuable.
I started using it on my upper back. I mean, and I was so committed to this that I went next door to my neighbor and asked him, because his wife was out of town, would you please put these on my upper back? You know, I can get the rest of my body. I was, you know, if I'm going to feel humiliated, too bad. I want this too much. And so I was probably 2 weeks into having these patches on every day. And like you said, when you showed the patch, you can cut that into fourths, you can cut it into thirds, and they stay on your body up to 48 hours. So I went 2 weeks straight. And when I went in to have my massage, it was the first time I had seen my massage therapist since I had come back from the Medicine Women's Retreat. And he said, "Oh my God, Keli, I totally expected you to be crawling in here." And I said, "Oh my God," and I had to share that experience, you know. And then I laid down on the table. And when I was laying on that table, as a woman, and I'm sorry, but you know, when you're laying on a massage table, you're trying to get your upper body. When you're on your stomach, you're trying to find the right place for your boobs, you know. I mean, they can get uncomfortable. Where should I put them, you know? And then laying on that table, I'd have like a little dip in my lower spine, and I never was really that comfortable. And when I would get my massages, which I've been getting for 25 years, it always felt like somebody was using their fingernails or glass, you know, and I would always make that comment, and nobody really explained to me why I was having that sensation, other than maybe it was a nerve thing. So during this particular massage, I'm laying on that table and I'm realizing that, you know, I feel like I am one with this table. Like I don't even feel a separation of my body in that table. And when my massage therapist, Tom, started working on me, I went, "Oh my God, I think I feel the pads of his fingers on my muscles." I had never felt that before, ever in my life. And I would always use massage as, and I get emotional about this, I would always use massage as, even though it's going to cause me pain, it's going to be different from the pain that I have every single day. So I told him, I said, "Tom, I think I feel the pads of your fingers. I feel it moving my muscles." And I used to always say to him, "I swear I don't have muscles. It's just all bones back there." You know what I mean? It was just so tight and so hard. And on this particular day, I felt the pads of his fingers connecting with my muscles. And he said to me, "Keli, welcome to your first massage." And I just started to cry. And there was so much release that I was aware of. I was in the moment. I let it happen because I thought, this is a process that I need to experience. And what if it leads to my back feeling better, you know, on the long term? Yep. So anyways, you know, we got done. I go for 90 minutes when I get a massage. And when we were done, I stood up and my shoulders were straight. They were not rounded. And one of the things that has really been hard for me is that when I do stand up, my shoulders pull on my neck if I try to stand straight, and it causes me tremendous pain, and then the whole thing flares up. So I've learned to round my shoulders and stoop my neck to avoid that position. And what I would like to say today is that, you know, that musculature and that nerve challenge that I had in the thoracic part of my spine, I really believe fibromyalgia has a lot to do with trauma, whether physical or emotional, that gets stuck in your cells. And I truly believe it creates like this blockage. And when you have any type of a blockage, you then have poor circulation. And when you have poor circulation, you then get lactic acid buildup in the muscle tissue. And when you can't clear lactic acid from your muscle tissues, that is like the 4th of July going off on your muscles. Okay, you are destroying tissue. And so we're talking years and years and years and years of this chronic, constant pain. And I stood up and my back felt like somebody had gone in there and removed 2 giant concrete blocks. First thing after noticing that, I took a breath and I felt it all the way down behind my belly button. I had become a shallow breather. And that will lead to anxiety as well, and poor circulation and so on and so forth. So it's that experience that I had that has now allowed me, if somebody asks me if I want to go somewhere, I can say yes, because I can stand or sit longer than 10 minutes. And for the last 3 years, I have declined any social opportunities, really, because I didn't know what the furniture was going to be like. I didn't know how much I was going to be able to tolerate it, and I did not want to be a drag on the group that I was with. So that was a lot of information, but that's how I got involved here.
Wow. Hey, I wish you were on screen. That's really powerful. You know, I had to like, I've heard the story before, and it's just, it always touches me. And I almost could start crying because I know that this product has given so many people relief, and everyone's different. What, and I think that you actually stripped a neighbor who has pain. I forget her situation, but didn't your neighbor have either lupus or fibromyalgia or some kind of pain that this product worked immediately?
Yes,
Wasn't there
yes. My friend Mickey, you know, she has lupus. She's the only remaining survivor in her family of people who have had lupus. And she also has fibromyalgia. You know, she has experienced a lot in her life. And so anyways, she said to me, "You seem so different. You seem so different." And I said, "Oh my gosh, Mickey, I want to tell you about these strips." I mean, I didn't say anything to her on purpose because I wanted to see what she saw in me, because I felt alive. You know, like, welcome to your life, Keli. And so anyways, I told her about it, and I said, "Come here, let's put some on you." And it was in her lower back on both sides. So, you know, just picture doing the dishes. You're bent right at that position, you know. So anyways, I put the strip on her. I didn't tell her how it works. I did not tell her when to expect anything. You know, I just said, "Here, let me put these on and you can let me knit." And then she goes, "Could I be feeling something already?" And I just looked at her, and she started crying. And I said, "I guess you can feel it that quickly." And so I've been stripping her up ever since.
So that leads me to, here's a situation that Dave and I have found, is that everyone's going to get relief at a different time, at a different pace. But we find that a third of the people will get relief of some sort within minutes to hours. The other third, it might take hours to several days, and the other, it might take several weeks. In fact, my father's sister, who's in her early 80s, she used the product for the strips with quantum energy for almost a month. And that was her magic, because she was patient. She fired her doctor. She just started working with someone with massage, and she used these, and she was able to travel from Florida to Vermont several summers ago. And she had not been able to do that for years because, like you said, Keli, she couldn't sit. So there's no way she's going to be on an airplane from Florida to Vermont. So like anything, we need to be patient, and we never know who is going to get quick results. I was telling you this morning, we were talking about blocked energy, and a lot of times people will go to massage or to a healer or to have energy work like Reiki to unblock energy blocks. And several years ago, with the first generation of this strip, which is not even as potent as these, but by the same doctor, I had a frozen shoulder. And, you know, physical therapists, everyone just said, "Oh, you know, work with these bands." And I intuitively knew that there was some blocked energy. There was some trauma. And I can figure out how that happened, but it didn't matter. I was working at a gym. I had a frozen shoulder. I could not even show someone how to do a shoulder press because I could only go part way up with one of my shoulders.
Oh my gosh.
And I was one of those, we didn't know what to expect. You know, put this on, Dave put a full on my trap. And I know that it worked very quickly, because for the first time in about a year and a half, I could sleep on my stomach because I could actually get my arm in that position. And I'm a stomach sleeper. So when I woke up the next day and Dave said, you know, how do you feel? And my arm shot straight up. So I know that it was blocked energy. And a lot of times people have had an emotional or physical experience in their life, whether it be a car accident, surgery, something traumatic happens, and energy gets blocked. And I believe that stagnant negative energy can just expand and people experience it as pain. Would you agree, Keli?
I absolutely agree. You know, I was 7 years old riding my first two-wheeler bike, and I was showing off. I'm headed down this hill, and I said, "Hey, everybody, look, no hands." And I hit a patch of dirt. I went over the handlebars. My face skid. First, it slammed onto the ground, and it skid forward. So I want people to think about the impact of the neck and the back. I hit so hard it took the top layer of skin off my face, and I lost my top 7 and my bottom 6 baby teeth. Okay, so from that point on, I can remember as a young child, we'd get done dinner and it was time for me to wash the dishes, and I would cry. My thoracic spine hurt so bad. And when people don't believe you, there is nothing more frustrating and isolating, because when you have chronic pain like that, you don't see it. Somebody could look at me and be like, "Oh, her hair's looking good. I love those cowboy boots," but they don't know I am dying inside.
Yeah.
And so,
Yep.
I went through college, and I'd have to type papers, and I would cry and I would cry and I would cry. And so I would go to my doctors, and everybody kept saying stress, 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 stress. So I began to believe that my life was one that would include pain until the day that I died. I accepted that. And I would say for the last 5 years in my career, I traveled all over the world with my job. I was, maybe 4 or 5 months in Vermont out of a year. I was traveling that much.
Wow.
It got so bad. It got so bad. And when you have chronic pain like that, it's going to affect your immune system. It's going to affect your ability to function, And then I took that final fall and herniated all those discs. And that was the end of my job. I think back to the 5 years that I struggled. Had I known about these patches, I think to myself how different my life would have been. But I can't go back there. I'm here now.
That's why we're doing this, is just so people know that there is something available. I tell you what, when I first heard of Dr. Minsu Kim's original strip, and then of course this, I didn't know the amount of people in pain. In fact, Dave and I, we just thought, well, this is a really cool concept. And we called people and said, who do you know? We have discovered something that is very beneficial for people who want to relieve their pain. Who do you know who may have pain or discomfort? Almost everyone, actually everyone, said either me or someone they love. And we were just like, oh my God. In fact, I was thinking, wow, well, I don't have pain. I don't really understand. But the fact is, I did have pain. I had a frozen shoulder, and I had dismissed it because it really wasn't, it was affecting my life, but I just thought it's how it is right now. So unfreaking believable. The other thing, Keli, is there's something that, how this whole started is we were talking about why some people, and not necessarily with the strips, but with anything nutritional, because you traveled for 20 some years for a company and you were like their head. Well, tell us a little bit about what you did, but that bio-individual, that term that you use, why that some people get different results.
Okay, I worked for a company that designed and manufactured nutritional supplements for humans as well as dogs and cats and horses. And when I first started in this career, I didn't really know the power of nutritional supplementation. I thought you fixed things with medication. And then I learned that what you do is you manage symptoms with medication, and that you can actually give your body the tools to bring it back to like a corrective place. So anyways, what was interesting is when you would talk about nutritional supplementation with the veterinarians and with the human healthcare professionals, they would always say, how soon are they going to have results? How soon are they going to have results? And we would always tell them it's based on biochemical individuality. And by that, I mean our response time is influenced by who we are genetically, who we are environmentally. Am I living near a golf course and I'm being exposed to a lot of xenohormones, man-made chemicals? Do I eat a lot of processed foods? Am I a smoker? Do I drink a lot? Do I eat a lot of sugar? And the reason I'm saying that is if a person were to take, say, glucosamine for the joints, if they've had a neglectful or challenging diet, lifestyle, or have been exposed to a lot of chemicals, then the ingredients that I'm taking to support my joints are going to go in my body and say, you know what, we'll get to the joints later, man. Your liver is in trouble. And so many of those nutrients may go to other places in your body depending on just how deficit you are. So if I was a person who's like, man, I am into gin and I love to smoke and give me some processed food, and I take something for my joints, and the girl sitting next to me is all about namaste and organic and got a really great gene pool, she's going to probably in 2 days with the right type of joint support formula be like, oh man, I feel a little bit better. And I'm still thinking this is crap. You know what I mean? And that's because there was a lot of need in my body based on biochemical individuality. I hope that makes sense. So when somebody says, how long is it going to take to work? It's based on biochemical individuality. It is all natural and will work with your body as opposed to a drug. I mean, if we each take 10 milligrams of oxycodone, we're all going to feel a little funky and maybe minus some pain around the same time, you know, because that's a drug. So that's what I mean by, you know, biochemical individuality. I have always thought that it is important when you start something that is natural, that you owe that product 3 months of your commitment. And if you get a response in 24 hours, super freaking duper. You know what I mean? I mean, that is awesome. But I really think it's very important that, you know, you're fair with the process.
Well, a couple of things is I have 3 of these sample packs of the quantum relief strips to give away. So below for anyone who's never tried them, who is seriously in need of them. Now, here's the other thing is sometimes we'll give a product. Let's use this as an example. And people like Kelly McBride or Mickey, they're like, oh my God, this is great. But unfortunately, there are people who will use a 4-day supply and say it didn't work for me and then never try again. And these are people who may have been experiencing pain for as long as you can. And it's not like some people have had pain for 1 year and it might take them a whole month before they get the kind of relief they're looking for. Or it can be someone like you who experienced pain for many, many years and you got really quick results. One other thing you said, and for those of people who have had massage or energy work or Reiki, maybe you can relate to this, but we have a friend who's a massage therapist and she's in her late 40s and she's been doing massage for well over a decade. Anyway, she's at the end of her career based on pain for her and mainly around the fingers and the carpal area on the wrists. She bought the strips because actually she bought them for her husband who had fallen off the roof and he was waiting for shoulder surgery. So it was his go-to pain relief as opposed to having to use drugs. But she put it on her hip because she has hip pain from always bending over and giving massage. And she called me all excited the next day and I said, well, how's your hip feel? And she said, I think I feels a little bit good, but you're not going to believe it. And I said, what? She said, my wrist and finger pain is completely gone. And of course, the joke was all except for her middle finger. But her pain was gone. Yeah, Dave said, just stop using that finger. But so she put it on her right hip for that area. And the body has an intelligence, an innate intelligence of what to do when it's given the perfect raw materials, whether it's energy, medicine like the quantum relief strips, or good nutritional like the Amazon Gold, for example. Our body knows what to do with it, and it will bring the energy to the area that's needed most. And when you said that, Kelly, about people who have a crap diet and someone's liver or other part of their body is so compromised and in so need of the nutrition that it's going to repair that first. So this is brilliant. I'm thinking that we need to get you on the screen because I don't like just seeing myself here. So we're going to figure this one out. But I think that having lunch with Kelly and Joy, K and J, a couple times a week, whatever. If please, if you are watching this or have even tapped in, if you are finding this fascinating with what Kelly is sharing and think that it would be of value, and maybe we'll do like 5-10 minutes. this, we've been going on and on, but I didn't want to stop because Keli, you were on a roll, and I think people need to understand what you experienced and how you explain it. And you're just at the beginning of your healing. Can you imagine? I mean, you just started using these mid-August.
Yes. Yes.
So can you imagine in another month how you're going to feel?
I'll tell you what, living in Florida now, I have not been able to participate in all of the activities a Floridian can participate in. And I'm talking, how about ride your bike for more than just around the corner, or get in a kayak, you know, or go and do some camping. So I really feel like, you know, or how about maybe, I don't know, some dating, you know, hey, I went to the movies the other day, and I actually was able to tolerate the entire movie. And, you know, of course I cried at the movie, but I cried more about how, you know, my life is changing. And I couldn't be happier. And I am humbled, and I am so grateful for this company and the concept behind these strips and the relief that I have received. I mean, you know me, I can't say anything if it's not true.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Keli is beautiful. You'll see her on the screen. We'll get her profile picture back. And what I'll do, even Keli, we had done a blog for you. Now we could certainly expand on that, but I will even post it below so that people can learn a little bit more about you on the first blog that we did on you. And
Okay.
Yeah, there is relief out there. And I do know, personally been touched with people that I know that are close to me who, based on an accident, they got hooked on drugs, opiates, whatever you call the Oxycontins and all of that medication. And their life was never the same because of that. And some of them are not even alive to this day. And I think it's because of the addiction and where it led their life. And we do have something that can help people. And it's just letting people know, who do you know that might be interested in experiencing some relief? Here's my experience. Tell me what yours is. And the other thing I think is to have people be realistic, because a friend of my daughter's father tried this, and he had not slept through the night for like 6 years. And his story is similar to yours, Keli. But as I was talking with him, I didn't have the wherewithal to say, what was your level of pain when you started versus where was it after a couple days? Because if I had, I think he would have stuck with the product, and I don't think he did. But in our conversation, well, I don't know. I still have pain, because he was looking for this big miracle to happen in this first 24 hours. What he did say after poking around on level of pain, it had gone from a 10 down to a 6, down to a little bit less. But he slept through the night for the first time in 6 years. And I said, oh my God. And that's nothing? That's huge. Sleep is important. Oh my gosh. So sometimes people their expectations get a little bit warped, and I think pain has a lot to do with that. But the Quantum Relief Strips are a great product. We believe that they work for everyone over time. Give it at least a full month's time. But I do have 3 samples here that I cannot wait to send out today to someone who's never experienced them and wants to. And perhaps their story will be very similar to yours, Keli. And by the way, when Keli said that the retreat in Vermont that we met at, the terrain was for goats and sheep, because they were there on the land. I mean, in fact, one woman walking to the final circle,
yes,
stumbled and broke her ankle.
Yes.
She broke her ankle.
Yes, I remember that.
But Keli, you were sitting on this little flimsy camp chair. So it's not like she had this big throne of comfort. You know, you were there, and I think you were shaking a drum or whatever towards the end, and you'd never, ever know that you were concerned about, being comfortable all weekend. So it happened pretty quick, and I'm so blessed to have met you.
Same here, Joy. Same here.
Yeah. So, it's been a while, folks. Next time, Keli will be on screen. We'll make sure that happens. Now that we know how to split the screen, we'll get her on first, and then she can bring me on. And anyway, I think this has been very valuable. I am so excited to hear all the great things that you're going to do in Florida this season based on you being able to.
Thank you, Joy.
So.
Thank you. Really, again, I'm honored, and I'm humbled, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, super. Okay. make comments below, guys, if you think that you'd like to see Kelly and I do an occasional Q&A or share, because this woman has so much to share, and I'm always wanting to have I know today we don't use tape recorders. I don't even think we own one, but every time she talks, I'm like, oh, Kelly, I've got to record this. And the beautiful thing that she has done is she'll often put it in script, and I'll turn it into a blog. So I will remember to post a few things below in the comments. But if you've enjoyed hearing Kelly's story and would like to share or know anyone who can benefit from the quantum release strips, please comment below and we'll make sure that they get a sample. And Kelly, I love the fact that you did say that when you're going with natural products, like my daughter, she deals with herbs and oils. She's an herbalist, and you can't expect everything to happen miraculously immediately. That's silly. That's silly to think that. So give whatever product, whether it's our company or another company, just give it its fair shot, because good chance is you're going to have a healthier life because of it.
Right on. You're a rock star, Joy.
Hey, likewise. Cheers, native Vermonter. Enjoy Florida.
Okay.
And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, everyone. Okay, so Kelly, I have you on board.
Okay.
At least with voice. Okay.
Can you still hear me now?
I can. Yeah, I can hear you really well.
So I just hung my phone up.
So you are a black square, sort of like that.
And she's not showing up on the stream, actually. It's just you on the screen, not a black.
Okay, so we're just gonna get to this.
Just run.
Okay.
Run, Forrest, run.
So for anybody who doesn't know me, I've got short, dark hair with some nice white stripes in it that are natural. I've got brown eyes, and I've spent a lot of time in the sun. So there's my visual for everybody.
Yeah, okay. So I have known about Kelly, and I think Kelly, we met maybe 3 decades
We did.
ago. And your name came up recently, and you attended my daughter's Medicine Women's Retreat here in Vermont. And Corey had said you almost couldn't make it because you were experiencing so much pain. And when I saw you get out of the car, I knew it was you, because I knew that, first of all, you were the only one there from Florida.